All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is October 26th. We got a bunch of games on the NBA slate today, 10 to be exact. We're going to jump in and go through each and every game. I'm going to give you my lean on the game, give you what I'm thinking, but as always, I say it in every video, my final plays will be in the pinned comment. If we change anything, it'll be there. Any added plays will be in there. We're still recording this the night prior, so we have one game going right now. It's still the Warriors and the Suns game, so we don't know how that one is going to shape up, but we're already positive on the day because we hit our prize picks parlay that included Dorian Finney-Smith under 10.5 points and Norm Powell under 16 points on prize picks. We cashed that for plus 300 odds, 3 times our money, guys. We're posting a prize picks parlay each and every NBA day, so make sure to check that out. It is on our community tab on our channel, so just go to our channel page, find the community tab at the top, and we post it at some point during the day. We've cashed 2 days in a row now for plus 300 odds each time. If you don't know how prize picks works, check out the link in the description. And guys, I know it's a basketball video, right? But for our Thursday night video, which drops at some point today when you are watching this, it comes out around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for our Thursday night football plays. I made a little bet with you guys. I said if that video gets 100 likes, I will do the next Thursday night video. I'll start it off with a beer shotgun. So head over there, make sure to go like that video. If you're watching this before it comes out, put the notifications on, make sure to go check out that video and hit that like button. Also subscribe to this channel while you guys are at it. We're grinding towards 12,000 subscribers. I cannot thank you guys enough for the recent growth and the boom that this NBA season has caused as of late. We're going to keep cashing for you guys. We're now 3 positive days in a row, hoping to make it 4 with this slate. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first game here. We have Atlanta taking on Detroit here. Detroit at home, coming off of a back-to-back, just losing to the Wizards tonight at the time of recording, yesterday at the time you guys are watching this. They got 7 points here at home. The total is 229. Atlanta 2-1 on the season, 1-1 against the spread. Detroit yet to cover a game. I don't think that this is a spot for Detroit here on the second night of a back-to-back. And I know I got a comment a couple days ago saying, hey, what are you talking about? Like, you know, it's early on in the year. Why do we care about back-to-backs? You know, guys aren't going to get tired. It's not a matter of that. I mean, it's not a matter of these guys being fatigued for the majority of the season or being drained. It's a matter of they went balls to the wall one night, have to do it all over again, can be draining. So it's not that I'm saying these guys are out of shape already this point in the NBA season. It's not that. It's that a back-to-back is going to matter to some marginal degree. So I'm going to lean Atlanta in this one. Looks like Justin Holiday is questionable. Alec Burks is questionable, and Marvin Bagley still out for Detroit. But we're going to lean Atlanta +7, or Atlanta -7 in this game. Keep an eye on the pin comment to make sure if it becomes a final play. Next up, we got the Cavs hosting the Orlando Magic here. 8-point favorites are the Cavs at home. Total is 219. I peek at the over in this one. As you guys know, we're sticking away from totals probably until November, so maybe another week or so before the true king of the under comes out and starts crushing some unders here. But I do look at the over in this one, funnily enough. Last time these two teams played, Orlando actually took the win 120-115. That was back in April. I think this may be too many points to lay Orlando, so I'm gonna lean Orlando in this one. They've been covering. They have covered once. They're yet to win so far, and Cleveland has been playing well. 2-1, both straight up and against the spread. I just think 8 points may be a little bit too much to give Orlando. I'll tell you guys right now, far chance that this one becomes a final play. So I don't expect to see this in the pinned comment. A couple player props that I'm looking at in this game, though, so make sure to keep an eye on the pinned comment for those. All right, next up, we got Brooklyn. 4-point dogs as they travel to Milwaukee. Brooklyn 1-2 to start the year, both straight up and against the spread. The Bucks, on the other hand, only 2 games under their belt, but they have won both of them and they have covered both of them. And I'll give Milwaukee credit here. 13.5 point favorites a couple nights ago against Houston here, and they got that done. They end up winning that game by 20, and they were underdogs their opening night against Philly, and they won that game outright. I think Milwaukee is playing decent basketball right now. No major injury updates here. Chris Middleton's still out. Joe Ingles out Wednesday. For Brooklyn, Markieff Morris downgraded to out, and Seth Curry is downgraded to out here. The Brooklyn Nets 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games. They're 1-6 straight up in their last 7 here. Last time these two teams played, Milwaukee squeezed it out 120 to 119. This is a playoff series, if I'm not mistaken. Or it wasn't a playoff series. That was Celtics last year playing Milwaukee here. So last time these two teams played, Milwaukee 120 to 119. I think if they just maybe a little bit more of a put together basketball team right now, I will tell you guys, I'm pretty high on the Nets long term. I think they do end up, or long term this season, they do end up figuring it out, but I don't totally love the spot for them right now. I lean Milwaukee -4. I would love this one to be 3.5 or 3, but I'm leaning Milwaukee -4. And in terms of a total, 233.5. We've seen Milwaukee go out there and drop 25 points. We also saw a hard-fought game against Philly, 90-88. I kind of peak at the under in this one. Brooklyn, their games thus far have been, hit or miss here. Opening night that they had against the Pelicans, 108 to 130. That's a big total night. Toronto, 109 to 105. Another sort of hard-fought game there. Then Memphis was an absolute shootout. So slight lean towards the under. Probably doesn't become a final play here, though. All right, next up, we have the Charlotte Hornets getting 8 points against the Knicks. My eyes originally went right to the injury report here, and Terry Rozier is downgraded to doubtful. Cody Martin downgraded to doubtful. LaMelo Ball is still out here. New York, no major injuries to note there. We liked Charlotte against the Hawks the other night. They end up winning that game outright, so we're on the right side of that one. But I don't want to push my luck with this beaten Charlotte team. They are 2-1 against the spread this season, but they're playing a Knicks team that is 3-0 against the spread. So I want to go Charlotte in this game, but I think I'm not touching it. I'm staying away from this game overall, just because I don't totally feel like I can push my luck that much with Charlotte continuing to get these large spreads, especially without Rozier and LaMelo Ball, relying on, Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward, a couple other guys here. I don't want to push my luck too much. So I like Charlotte here, but I'm probably sticking away in terms of actually putting my wallet on this game. Next up, we have, and again, we're recording this day before, so I do have an updated line here. I know in the graphic it says TBD, but right now, Philly is a 1-point favorite on the road against Toronto. Toronto 2-2 this season, 3-1 against the spread though, and Philly has, I'm not calling them a dumpster fire. It's only been 4 games, but they haven't looked too great. They got their first win of the season against the Pacers last night, or 2 nights ago. Toronto, on the other hand, grinded out a game against Miami prior to that. They lost to Miami, so it's good to see those teams flip. We remember that for later on in the season. I do think that I'm gonna lean Philly here. I hate to do it because, they just haven't looked incredible this season. Joel Embiid looks sluggish at some times, but, I think that we see an Embiid that doesn't get in foul trouble here and actually is able to take over a game. I'm waiting for the Embiid takeover game. He's had great numbers so far, but I'm talking that game that he absolutely shows you early on that there's no way the Sixers are losing this game. I'm hoping that they picked up some momentum against Indiana a couple nights ago, and I'm going to look at Philly here -1. In terms of injuries, Toronto, Otto Porter Jr. is downgraded to doubtful, and this is a big one here. Scotty Barnes is listed as questionable with an Achilles injury, I believe, or an ankle injury or something like that, if memory serves me right. But we're going to look at Philly here -1. Don't have a line on the total there, but I'd probably stick away from this total anyways, because this is either going to be an offensive game or defensive game, and I'm not willing to gamble on which one of those this is. But guys, before we get into the rest of the plays, I want to talk to you a little bit about Sportsline. You guys have heard it on the channel. They're the sponsor of the channel right now. Sportsline is an amazing place to start your sports betting research. Head over to Sportsline, use the link in the description. They go ahead and simulate each and every game 10,000 times. It's not just for NBA. It's for NFL, NHL, college basketball, college football, NFL, MLB, every sport, okay? I don't know, I lost track there. But guys, 10,000 simulations, so you get a predicted score that's based on some computer data-driven information. You get a projected box score if you're a big player props fan, or daily fantasy or fantasy fan. And they also have Vegas experts writing on the site, giving their picks, and you can see if they're hot, they're cold, they track their units, all that good stuff, guys. So make sure to check out Sportsline. Link in the description. Use that link in the description, and then use promo code GUYBOSTON, GUYBOSTON. It's on the screen here. Use that at checkout, and you can get 3 months. Yeah, a quarter of the year for $5. Actually, less than $5. $4.99. It's like less than the Starbucks coffee for a quarter of the year. Go check out Sportsline, guys. I've been using it. I was using it prior to even working with them. I was paying for Sportsline, so definitely go check it out. It's a great tool to incorporate in your sports betting research. And I also want to talk to you guys about the ride of the day. Hashtag ride of the day. Give me a play in the comments, guys, that you think is a lock, and I'll be jumping on board with one person in the comments and giving you guys a shout out, win or loss. And speaking of wins, we got Slickwell coming in with Christian Wood over 26.5 PRAs. He cashes this. Now, he had to squeak by. You got to rebound late to hit it. But here we go. Christian Wood. We get the crowd noise pumped in. Slickwell, we've now cashed 3 ride of the days in a row. I believe it was from Jamal, Jojo, and now Slickwell. That's pretty good memory, remembering you guys. I'm part of the community and whatnot. But guys, you get a shout out if you do win. You also get a shout out if you lost. It's just not as happy of a one. But shout out to Slickwell here. Christian Wood looked good there. We actually got this at 27.5. And he came out of the game with about 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and had 27 PRAs. And I was like, oh my God, we need one more. And then he gets that late rebound. So Slickwell didn't sweat it too much. I did, because we had it a point higher. But guys, use hashtag ride of the day in the comments, and I'll be jumping on board with one person in the pinned comment and giving you guys a shout out in the next video, win or loss. Let's keep it going here. We got Indiana taking on the Bulls. Bulls 8-point favorites, 232.5 is the total. Indiana has not seemed to have any games keep to a low score here. Now they are this season 2-2 to the over, but the scoring that has come through their games has been 107-114, 134-137, 124-115, 106-120. The Bulls, on the other hand, are keeping it relatively low, and they're also 2-2 against the spread. So I know that I told you I'm sticking away from unders, but 232.5 seems a little bit too high for this, so I'm going to peek at the under in terms of a lean. And I'm also going to look at the Pacers. Yeah, they're not the better team. They really aren't, but I do think that they match up well against this team. And Miles Turner actually upgraded to questionable, so it'd be nice to get him back for the Pacers. This is a slight lean. In fact, I like the under more than I do the Pacers in this one, but I think that this line is an overreaction to the Bulls looking really good against the Celtics a couple nights ago. So I'm going to lean Pacers here, +8. Spurs taking on Minnesota here. These two teams played just a couple nights ago. Minnesota was I believe, an 8 to 9 point spread favorite, and they end up losing the game by that amount, which I thought was kind of funny. So the Spurs kind of doubled back on them there. I think that Minnesota gets their revenge here in terms of a win, but 9 points is a lot to give the Spurs here, who are 3-1 against the spread on the season. And you're probably thinking, okay, well, 3-1 against the spread on the season, what's the big deal, right? They've beaten Minnesota and Philly. Now, we just talked about how Philly's had some struggles, but they're still talented. Minnesota has loads of talent. They've beat 2 decent teams outright. They were 13.5 point dogs against the Sixers. Take that win. They were 8.5 point, that's the final number, 8.5 point dogs against Minnesota, and they take that win. I'm sticking away from this spread here. I'm probably sticking away from this game overall, but I do think Minnesota comes back and gets their revenge in this game and takes the win. I don't think you're going to have money line odds here, but if you guys do mess around with parlays or anything, I think Minnesota may be a decent parlay to throw in there. Utah taking on Houston here. Utah 6-point favorites, another duo that just played a couple nights ago. Utah ended up as 2.5 point favorites for that game. They lose the game outright. I think that they bounce back in this one. They're still 3-1 against the spread. They were playing good ball before that. I like Utah in this one, -6. I'll be honest, I really like this game at -5.5, so If I can get that line, I'll shop around. Hopefully I can, but I may buy a half point. Keep an eye in the pinned comment to see what we finally end up rolling with. But I do like this Utah team. I think that they're going to get decent lines for the foreseeable future as well. So I'm going to look at Utah here. It's a pretty strong chance to be a final play if I'm not lying here. That was their first against the spread win that they did not take. And honestly, that was their first loss that they had on the season too. And talk about good teams. Denver, Minnesota, and New Orleans, who looks like a pretty good team too. Utah, who people thought, were selling, got rid of Gobert, got rid of Mitchell, all that stuff. They end up with a 3-1 start to the season and 3-1 against the spread. All right, Lakers taking on the Nuggets. And I don't know, guys. Do we fade the Lakers? Like 0-3 against the spread. They're playing a Nuggets team who I do like. We were on the wrong side of the Nuggets against Portland a couple nights ago. Nuggets only 1-3 against the spread to start the year. Lakers have not covered yet. Like I said, 0-3. Last time these two teams played was a super high scoring game, 146 to 141. Both of these defenses haven't looked that tremendous so far, so I think that we take a peek at the over. It's just a lot of points to ask for, 227, so I want to fade the Lakers and I want to lean Denver. I just don't think that I have the cojones to lay that many points. At some point, right, the Lakers are going to come out hungry and LeBron's going to say, all right, enough of this. Let's go do this and win this game type of thing. So we'll see. In terms of injuries, though, Russell Westbrook is doubtful. I'd love to say that matters, but that may help the Lakers. So it doesn't even make me want to play Denver anymore. Like Russell Westbrook not playing may help the Lakers. Who knows? And then for Denver here, we have Jeff Green upgraded to probable and Michael Porter Jr. questionable. So that is a decent factor there that we'll keep an eye on. But let's keep going here, guys. Again, we're looking at the over there, maybe Denver, just because we're fading the Lakers. But we have the Trailblazers, who are surprisingly 4-0, both straight up and against the spread. And their offense is cooking. Their defense looks pretty good as well. It is really, really shocking to see. They have a top 10 offense right now and a top 10 defense in this league, which is kind of crazy. And you're looking at Miami, who are 0-5 in their last 5 games here. Martin is questionable. Oladipo is out. Justice Winslow is the only injury update here that we have for Portland. He is questionable. I think that Miami, I'm surprised that they're dogs. I know they haven't played well, but it's only a matter of time before they start to play a little bit better. I like Miami. It looks like a lot of people are on Portland already if we look at the public here. So I'm going to go with Miami +1. I don't know, man. I don't know if I end up pulling the trigger. You'd think, like, if you were to tell me a couple days ago you're going to have a Miami +1 against a Portland team, I would be like, yeah, put my entire life savings on that game on Miami. This Portland team looks pretty good, and I'm pretty surprised by it. So I'm going to lean Miami +1, but I'm going to have to think long and hard before I make that a final play. Guys, that is all we have for gameplays today. Again, make sure to go check out that Thursday night video and like that video. We might be shotgunning to start the next Thursday night video. And also keep an eye on the pinned comment for any player prop ads or changes to this and all my final plays. And keep an eye on our community tab for our prize plays picks. We are now profiting big time on those things. We're absolutely crushing it over on prize picks. So make sure to check out prize picks with the link in the description, and also go check out the community tab for the plays. But that is all I have for you guys today. Long video today. Nice breath of fresh air there. Guys, catch you in the next one. Peace out.